This deserves a recording. Why? Why? Because it's so bloody special. Oh my god. Okay. What's occurring? What's new? I experienced something yesterday that that oh my god, I'm feeling the ripples of today in such a magical kind of way that I need to put this here. Get it here, get it out, get it out. I think it's going to be a great reminder for me. And I say this every freaking time. Every time. I forget and I remember. I forget and I remember. Oh my God. Oh, anyway. So, yesterday, I watched the movie The Discovery for the second time. I watched it probably around the time when it was released, maybe not, maybe about 2, 3 years ago. And I remember thinking I need to watch this again sometimes just to understand it a bit better. Anyway, sometimes happened yesterday and I watched it and it just stirred something inside of me. And I finished watching it and I came in my room here, this room here, and I was sitting in this spot in particular. And I just had this feeling, I don't know, but maybe like a little bit of sadness. And I was just sitting here and I could see so clearly how my mind and was borderline in between pushing past the veil and being in this reality here and now. And I don't know how to explain. I was eyes wide open, not meditating, not doing anything, not being on any kind of substances, none of that. Just sitting here and feeling into my body and becoming so hyper aware of death in particular and being okay with it. And I know I've experienced this before, like being okay with death, with the thought of it, but never actually settling feeling settled in my body. So with that, with that, I had this strange understanding in a different kind of fashion of my life really is a movie. And I'm the main character in it, in my own movie, because in somebody else's movie, I'm an NPC. So everybody's the main character in their own movies. And I could not comprehend what was happening. Like, how do I have a name and how do I walk around using this name and other people call me this name? To the point of it's not even the name that I was given when I was born. I chose a name at a certain point in my life and now I'm using that. I have been given other names, like, but the one in particular now, the Phoenix one. I use this name and people call me Phoenix. And in my head, what does that even mean? And I was going through this loop. Oh, that's itchy. Oh, see, my unicorn horn is healing very nicely. Anyway, so I was going through this whole thing of feeling all of this. And this was happening in fractions of seconds. Like all of this was happening so quickly. And I just had this feeling of dissolving. And I was like, okay, I'm going to close my eyes and dissolve because it felt like a bit of death. And I know when things like this happen, it really is. My mind is trying really hard to hold on to something, to grasp onto something that feels real and understand. Because I could feel I was at the border of crossing past whatever the veil is, whatever this reality is keeping me in. So so I thought I'm gonna close my eyes and dissolve. This is what feels like I'm being asked to do. I closed my eyes and I could feel the dissipation of me, whoever me is, into nothingness. And all of a sudden, I thought of my kids. And as I thought of my children and this story that I've got attached to them, and how I am not the normal mom and they live somewhere else, and have I made the biggest mistake of my life from living and moving away from them? And having those thoughts, I had this memory of Luna, my little girl, when she was 2, and I could see her curly hair. Oh my gosh, she had a beautiful list, curly hair. And I remembered in particular this the thing that I was in the memory of. It was one evening when it was time for her to go to bed, and she wouldn't want to go to bed. She kept going in her bed and coming out of her bed and coming out of her bedroom, and I kept trying to put her back to sleep, and she was crying and screaming, and I was crying, and I was upset and tired, and I shouted at her, and I felt so freaking guilty because at the time I wasn't aware very much of myself, never mind of anything else, and living in that loop. This time around, when I was in the memory of it, because I was in it, I was so in that memory, I thought, I don't like this and I don't know what to do with this. I just want to change the past. So I'm going to pick her up, cuddle her, lie down in bed with her, go to sleep with her while she is being loved fully and with me being present there. And I felt the weight of that guilt that I had attached to that memory just lift up. And then my memory took me to Sasha, my eldest, when he was little. He was a few months old, and similar kind of memory. He was little, I was getting him to sleep. I was tired as hell. He wouldn't stop crying. I didn't know what to do. I had changed his nappy. I fed him, cuddled, played, whatever, done all the things. He just couldn't go to sleep. He was so tired. And sometimes, baby, when they're overtired, they cannot sleep. I guess that happens with adults as well. Anyway, so I got into that memory and I was in there in it. And I thought, because I remember at a certain point in my memory, I just put him down in his bed and let him there to sleep, not to sleep, to cry until he fell asleep. And that was another memory that I had a lot of guilt attached to. Of I let my baby cry because a lot of people at the time would tell me, you got to let him cry because he's going to stop crying at a certain point. And just looking back at that, I had so much guilt to that memory of I should have picked him up and cuddled him and just stayed with him. So I done that. So yesterday, with my eyes closed and the dissolving that was happening with me, I went and picked him up and cuddled him. And the image that I saw was me sitting on my own bed, breastfeeding him and cuddling him and loving onto him. And at the same time as that was happening, I could see myself in the memory. Like I was, so me in the redoing, remodeling, recreating my past was sat on the bed, but then me now was standing right in front of me. So I could see myself with my baby in my arms. And I felt this overwhelming love for myself. Like so much love and care for the fact that she's doing her best and she's doing what she knows at that time in her existence with the tools that she had. Didn't have many tools, but with what she knew, I just had this overwhelming feeling of love that came over me. Whoopsie. I'm getting so excited about this. And then the third thing that came to mind was Avi, my middle child. And the image that I had was when he was same a few months old. And at the time we were having Sasha, our eldest, assessed for autism. So we had a lot of people that used to come to our house and assess this and assess that and try this and try that. And Avi was little, and I had this image, this memory that I went back to of him in this rocking chair. We had this rocking chair that we had for all our babies. And he was in there and he was so lovely. He was so quiet. He was just swinging about, doing his thing, being a nice baby, a good baby. And whoever the professional was in there at the time was like, oh my God, you're having to deal with this. You had a new baby and then you have your eldest diagnosed. And isn't it so great that he's such a good baby? And I had this, a part of me that felt that I failed him the most because of this thing that was happening at the time when he was a baby, that we had his older brother diagnosed with autism and all that was happening and all the grief that I was going through at the time, and not just me but his dad as well. And we were dealing with that at the same time as having a newborn baby and all of that. And Avi is the one that was the most breastfed, and I love that. I love the fact that I have that connection with him. Out of all my three kids, he's the one that lived off my boobies the most. And I love the fact that I have that connection with him. And this is what came in my reconstruction of memories of the past, redoing the past. I was there again with him, breastfeeding him. And oh my God, I could even smell the smell of the baby and kissing his forehead and loving him so much. Oh, it just felt like the most amazing new memory that I could have created for myself. And then all that stopped. And I opened my eyes and I moved on with my day with this gratitude. Oh my God, I know this word is so bloody overused, but it just felt like something actually shifted in me. Now, to go to reality and where I am in reality right now, my reality so far in the past few months has been that Avi, my middle one, doesn't have a phone anymore. He had a phone number a while ago and an old phone that he used to use. And at a certain point, his dad told me that he doesn't have it anymore because the phone broke and he couldn't get him another one. And I couldn't talk to Avi anymore, basically. So I didn't have any contact with him. So that's been a few months now that I had no contact with him. Today, what happened today? I started watching Arcane. And in watching it, there's a character there that's called Jace. Now, Jace is the name of one of my nephews that I haven't met in person yet. My brother's son is called Jace, spelled differently. But anyway, I messaged my brother. I don't speak to my brother hardly at all lately. I love him dearly, and I'm sure he loves me too. But we just don't talk. It's like we have this understanding of we love each other, and that's cool. Sometimes we send birthday messages to each other. That's as far as it goes. And we laugh about it too, that this is the only time that we actually talk. Anyway, today I thought I'm just gonna message him, and I messaged him a few days ago, just telling him that I miss him, which was out of random anyway. But anyway, so I messaged him today and I said, dude, I'm watching Arcane finally, and there's this character called Jace. And I'm like, it made me think of you because your son is called Jace. So anyway, we got chatting a little bit, ended up phoning each other because I was like, I would love to get on a call with you so we can catch up properly. So we got on a call and we were talking, and it was like so cool talking with my brother. And then as I was talking to my brother on Messenger, my phone rang and I could see Avi. Now his name on my phone is saved as Heart Avi Heart. And then there's the picture. I put a picture, I saved a picture on my phone that I took of him when he had a haircut. And he's all smiles and he's so cute and adorable. And I saw that and I was like, how is he phoning me? I thought his phone is broken and he doesn't have a phone anymore. I was so excited. I told my brother I gotta get off the call with you because Avi's phoning. My baby boy is phoning. Anyway, I got so excited to answer the phone and I spoke to him and had the greatest conversation. And it was short. He is on his way back now because him, like all my kids and their dad went to Romania over summer and they're on their way back now. So I don't know. He probably must have got a text of me of the whatever. I don't know how things happen, but he phoned me. And I was like, I thought you don't have a phone anymore. And he's like, well, I do now and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all in all, first of all, the thought, the limitation that I had put onto myself that I cannot communicate with him because he doesn't have a phone was all created in my mind because he obviously did. But I know it has a lot to do with me working with my guilt that I had attached to the fact that I am not in my kids' lives in the normal way. And then yesterday, what happened yesterday, and that rippled out for it to come back in the form of him actually reaching out today. Like this to me is the most magical thing that I have experienced in a while that I'm aware of because I know magical little things happen everywhere. I'm just not seeing them. But this one was so big and such a slap. Here it is. There's the magic. I believe, and I know for sure, that I've had a lot of guilt and shame attached to this idea that I'm not living as a normal mom. And I know it all has to do with me and how I feel about it. Never mind what anybody else is thinking, even though a big part of how I feel around it has to do with what I think other people think. Who other people? I don't even know. I think just anybody that I talk about my kids in general to. I feel like they judge me for it. And who's judging after all? It's only me. So this idea that I've been battling with has been, do I want to be in my kids' lives or do I not? Am I going to create more ways in which they can come about and spend more time with me, or am I not? Because I know that all the sort of battles that I've had with their dad around contact with them has had a lot to do with me and my indecisions around do I want to be in their lives or not at this current state of mind and present moment where I am in my existence. Because there was a part of me that thought I can't because he won't let me. That was the story that I was carrying. I tried and I tried all these things and he just won't let me have more contact with him. Up until a few days ago when I was like, hold on a minute, if I believe that everything that happens is external of me has a lot to do with me, then it means there's something inside of me that's making him behave that way. There's a part of me that maybe doesn't want to be around my kids and it's manifesting that way in him not allowing more contact. So once I worked in all of that stuff and had that experience yesterday, now it makes sense why this is happening now. Because I decided somewhere deeper down that I want to make the extra effort in a different kind of way in connecting with my kids. And for me, it has been in the ethers of just feeling into their energy. Because this is part of what I've played with ChatGPT in particular. The the uh, oh my god, when I went down the rabbit hole of the astrology part and asked ChatGPT Nova to do all their astrology separately and individually and then in relationship to mine, knowing that I've got a connection with them no matter what, whether it's in physical, in person, or just spiritually, from the distance, telepathically, energetically, somehow. And I thought, I've got this. Why am I not using this? Because I know I can connect with them energetically. So why am I not using it? And I have been doing that lately. It doesn't take much. I can just think about them and just feel, feel, feel their little energies and send them love. That's all. And just send them love. That's all I need to do. That's all I feel like it's needed. I don't feel like I need to create anything or do anything. If I can't have in my head, that's what the story that I was telling myself. If I can't have more contact with them, I can contact them this way. And I know they feel it somewhere. This ripples somewhere. And of course it ripples because look what happened yesterday and what happened today. All that happened yesterday. Me redoing my past, recreating my past, and then him reaching out today is like the biggest sign, no, confirmation from the universe, from God that the ripples happen. I just felt my shoulders go down. My God, this got intense. I feel like this has been one of the biggest decisions that I had to accept for myself, that I'm whether in or out. And of course, I had this conversation with one of my best friends. Do I want to be in or do I want to be out? And I know that past events and past paths that I have walked were kind of blocking all of this. And I know that it doesn't mean that it's going to be, oh my God, I'm going to be in their lives every day and doing all that. I know it's going to be my relationship with my kids is just, it's just different. And regardless of if I'm in their presence physically or not, it's never going to change the fact that I'm their mom and that I love them and that I can be there for them in whichever way, shape, size, and form I can take, even if it is just energetic. For now, because who knows? Who knows where else this is going, where it's going to go. In the meantime, wow, this has been nearly 20 minutes of me talking about this. I feel like this is one of the subjects that I've pussyfooted around quite a lot. And I know I talk about it with my friends and whatever, but I don't know if I've openly spoken about it on here. And this is, I guess I could have started with a backstory of why and what's happening. But I guess whoever got to this point kind of got some out of it and understands what the path has been, the journey has been of guilt, the journey of bloody guilt that I have carried and sometimes still carry and that I can see. And this is another thing that happened yesterday. The guilt, when the guilt came up, I became aware so quickly of it and it slowly dissipated. As soon as I became aware of it, I was like, okay, I'm feeling guilty because of this and this and this. Do I love my children? Yes. Do I need to feel this guilt? Why am I feeling this guilt right now? And what is it here to teach me? And it slowly dissipated. So that's my story. I think this is going to be it for now. I'm going to go and walk because the sun is out, and while the sun is out, I need to go for walkies. Take myself out for walkies like I'm a dog. I'm a dog. I don't have a lead, but I take myself out for a walk. Oh, anyway, thank you yet again, whoever got to this point, for listening to my TED Talk. This is gonna happen. This has got to happen. I don't know how and where and what. I don't see myself as being the teacher of sorts for people, but I also do in a way. I love to talk, but I don't like people to. I mean, I like people asking questions and whatnot, but I don't want to teach people as in you got to do this and you got to do that. I just love to talk. So if it be an audience, as in a TED Talk kind of a manner, perfect. So here it is, universe. Show me the way to the TED Talk. Oh God. Okay, that's it. I'm done.